Hello, good evening. Greetings to all under the heavens. My name is Clyde Viechweg. I'm the author of Caribbean Twilight, Tales of the Supernatural. I love folklore, the preservation, and narrating them. When I'm not writing, I'm creating fresh and tasty raw juices that are amazing. Yes, my aim is to bring all under heaven together through one story and one juice at a time. I'm just recovering from a flu, so this is my first book. It's called Caribbean Twilight, Tales of the Supernatural. I promised myself I would write a book before I was 40, so I turned 40 a week ago. So it's a collection of short stories from the Caribbean. So I'm going to read you one. Tonight's tale is called Tales of a Ligaroo. Now, a Ligaroo is like a Caribbean vampire. Okay. Somewhere out there in the vast turquoise blue Caribbean Sea to its west, and the turbulent Atlantic Ocean to its east, lays a gem of an island. For those of you who are nautically savvy, the coordinates are 12 degrees, 3 degrees north, 61 degrees, 45 degrees west. And if, like Christopher Columbus, you hear her siren song, and you feel yourself being drawn to her shores, resist not, for at the end of that tug is the tropical island paradise of Grenada. To the northwest of the capital, St. George's, lays a quaint and beautiful village called Mt.Moritz. It is here my story begins, among the backdrops of fertile, cultivated valleys of mangoes, oranges, golden apples, and every sort of godly fruit. Today, if its original Scottish settlers were to come back, they would notice a distinctive change. Long gone is the ravine flowing with water, teeming with fish and crayfish. The tiny homes are now replaced by stately houses and shops. Street lights are everywhere. The internet and cell phones would certainly astonish them. However, through all this change, they would soon feel at home, for the fertile soil and the character of the inhabitants remain untouched. In the time of my childhood, power outage was quite a commonplace. Now, for those of you who grew up on the island, this became part of life. You noticed it as much as you would pay attention to a sunset. What you did notice was the black and blue bruises to the lady thighs and the complaints of a Ligaroo's indiscretions. Those tales brought fears to the little ones at night. I would find myself peeking out the window, looking for that infamous ball of fire. Now, as it always happens, a rumor soon begins circulating of who the culprit is. In this case, it was Papa Guido. When I heard this rumor, it was easy to believe, for Papa Guido was a strange man who kept strange times and no company. He resided in a little wooden house in the back of the Bocas. When he was seen in the village, he always wore a black felt hat with black pants and shirt. His eyes always seemed to be bloodshot red. My best friend at that time, I will call Sam, to protect the identity of the individual. Sam and I, being adventurous youth, decided to get to the bottom of this rumor. So we started asking people about how a Ligaroo operated. Our most reliable source turned out to be my grandma. She said, Ligaroos came from Africa with the slaves. They were obeah men who drank blood to satisfy their deity. She continued, they come out when the moon is full for 3 days in search of a healthy victim. What can be done to stop one, I asked. They can be stopped by following them and salting their skin, for they must shed their skin to take the form of a Ligaroo. So it was then and there that Sam and I hatched up our plan to rid Mt.Moritz of a Ligaroo. 2 days before the full moon, Sam went to the church and got a bottle of holy water. I stole a pound of salt from my house. We were reckless youth who thought Ligaroos were old wives' tales. I could hardly contain myself from excitement. The day of the full moon was upon us. At 10 p.m., Sam and I took up our positions outside of Papa Guido's house and waited. We tried our best to stop giggling as we speculated on the outcome of this adventure. Looking back on this moment, we never expected anything to come of it, for we did not believe in such crap. At 11:30 p.m., Papa Guido came out the door. Something seemed different about him. He seemed to move with the ease of someone filled with energy and vigor. He started making his way out of the Bocas. We followed as stealthily as possible. At the main road in Mt.Moritz, he turned right, heading up the road. We continued following him all the way past the last house in Upper Mt.Moritz until he finally stopped in front of a huge silk cotton tree. What happened next changed the lives of two reckless youth forever. For after that night, our view of life shifted drastically. Papa Guido walked up to the trunk of the tree, looked around him quickly, then proceeded to strip down naked. Sam and I now started getting nervous. This was not as funny as we had imagined earlier. Standing naked under the tree while Sam and I hid behind a tree on our stomachs, Papa Guido proceeded to stand on one leg while staring at the moon. He then started reciting an incantation that went something like this. Blue snake, black snake, bring Papa Guido a blood cake. Cover him with an invisible cape. This incantation was kept up for 20 minutes. Suddenly, the ground started shaking, and a huge black snake came out of a hole in the tree. The snake glowed, its eyes red as fire. It slithered over to Papa Guido and breathed what appeared to be a mist onto him. In that moment, Papa Guido collapsed onto the ground. A huge ball of fire soon stood where the snake and Papa Guido was last standing. The ball of fire shot off into the night sky, headed down into the village. I could hear Sam's teeth clattering, or was it mine? Who knows? Who cares? 5 minutes later, we pulled ourselves together and approached the spot where the ball of fire was last seen. In its place was a mass of slimy skin. Sam threw the holy water and I the salt onto the skin. A loud hissing sound came out of nowhere, and we took off running. And boy, did we run. We ran straight through the front door without opening it. This, of course, woke everyone up. We related our tale, and we were rewarded with a sound beating for staying out this late and for concocting tall tales. Needless to say, Papa Guido was never seen again. The villagers were heard murmuring that he probably moved to his family in the country. Sam and I never discussed that night again. However, the two of us were soon avid churchgoers. I hope I have not frightened you off going to Mt.Moritz. Long gone are the days of the Ligaroo and Papa Guido. This cotton tree still stands as a testament to the supernatural. If you ever find yourself in the Isle of Spice, don't forget to look up into the sky on a full moon night for Papa Guido in flight.